This is some really neat piece of wood that we got from our backyard. I think it's a Chinese elm. So I thought, ooh, pretty pen blanks if I can make it work. So we're going to give it a shot. I bought a pen kit recently, thinking that would be a quick, fun, easy project to do on the lathe. What I hadn't realized is how many accessories you needed to actually make the pen on the lathe. First and foremost, you need the right jaws. Okay, so I got the case of the sillies this morning. Anyway, tried to do the theme song of Jaws, but that didn't work out. Remember when you're putting on your new jaws to match up the numbers to your chuck. Next, you're going to get the innards of your pen or the barrels out and place them on your wood to make sure that you have enough room. And then cut your wood so that the barrels will fit nicely. It helps if you draw a line about a 1/4 inch outside of the barrel so you have enough room when you're actually going to work on the lathe. Make sure you have a 7mm drill bit when you go to drill out the center of your pen. First, you have to make sure that you've squared it off, otherwise you're going to have a very wobbly pen. And then I just used my lathe to drill out the center of the pen. After you have the center drilled out, you want to use some thick CA glue after you've scuffed up the barrel to insert it inside the wood. Next, you can trim it with either a pen barrel trimmer or just take it to a belt sander. Now, I thought I could do this on the lathe and trim the barrel this way. Did not work. So I needed to get out my handy dandy drill and trim it that way. Having a mandrel is key if you want to turn a pen. Now, this did not come with my pen making kit, which perplexed me a little bit. I thought it should. But there was no way I was going to make this pen without the mandrel, so make sure you have that in your list of supplies. There are 2 types of bushings that come with your pen mandrel. The plastic ones that you use later on when you're gluing, and these black ones that you use to start, and those are your markers for how you turn your pen. So to keep the grain, you have your line here, but once you've totally turned your pen, these are gone. So to remember how your pen's going together, you're going to put a mark on the inside of the copper barrel, and that way, brass barrel, it'll match up when you're ready to assemble your pen. Once you got to the turning process, it was a lot of fun and pretty easy. Just make sure that you don't go too deep by the cushings. Otherwise, your pen is not going to put together correctly. Now, I like a thicker pen, something I can really hang on to. This might be too meaty for most, but this is what I like. As with any woodworking project, sanding is key. Now you had to go through several grits while it was just the wood, and then after you got that all sanded, you had to apply another CA glue. We started out with the thick glue and that did not work at all, and ended up having to sand all of that off and start over. We did not have a medium CA glue, so we decided that we'd go with the thin and would hope for the best. After you have completed 7 layers of the thin CA glue, using activator in between each application, you need to go through several grits of sanding again. Now it's important to note that you need to use water on this sanding process, and it might be helpful to have 2 barrels, buckets, cups of water, if you will, when you're doing this, because the glue rubs off onto the sandpaper and it gets really mucky, and you don't want to just keep applying all of that to your pen. You really want a clean process. Every pen kit is different, so make sure that you follow the instructions that came with yours.